So I made my video this afternoon, my first one about my Scout, and I've gotten a couple questions in response to that. So this is for those folks that are interested in some of the details about working on the Scouts and just some of the things that I've done. My hat's off to all those folks that have done Scouts and are doing Scouts. I think it's just wonderful that everyone's spending time on the Model 80s right now. I just really think it's terrific. I talked earlier in my first video about the bumpers. These are actually aftermarket Bronco bumpers. They've got a couple extra holes in them, but they look just great. They're most the exact size and shape and everything else, so they work just great. There's my gas cap, a marine application, but it doesn't leak, and it's cheap. I think these caps are like about 25 bucks or something, and they work just great. I really do like them. My dash is different in a couple ways from a stock dash. One, I powder coated it regularly or just painted. But I took out the gauge that did a lot of the metering and turn signals and stuff. And what I did was I put a tack in. So you can see it's a low count tack. And then where the defroster went, I put another gauge in. Okay. And on over here where the other defroster is, I put another gauge. Now, something that I did, because I took that one large gauge that had been there, did a lot of the metering, that included the gas tank level. So what I did was I just put two separate gauges for each gas tank and put it in my glove box. And it fits just great in there. Obviously, I've got an amp gauge in there too, and that works great. So that was my solution. The Scout handles original handles are really expensive. Excellent ones that are original can be well over 200 bucks. So you can get aftermarket ones, and these work just fine, and they're very close to look, and functionally they work just great. I talked earlier about my engine bay, and I didn't do a heater. If you're really not going to drive your Scout, in the winter a lot, I just don't think you need a heater, but that's a choice for everyone to make. But it sure cleans up the engine bay. You don't have a lot of the cables and the heater hoses and that kind of thing. One thing I did want to point out was in a Scout, for the throttle linkage, they have this series of these rods, a fulcrum, pivot, and then these rods. I just go with a cable. I do an aftermarket cable, or you can steal one out of another car, and that works a lot simpler, smoother. It's a lot better action, so I would just, that may be a suggestion for you. For the cooling, you can see that I've got the radiator shroud there, but they're so small, I'm not sure how much they really do help the cooling. But I will say that in all my experience, and I've been playing with these little Model 80 Scouts for more than 20 years, and I've never had an overheating problem with them. If you have a good functioning radiator and an engine in good shape, I've just never had a problem. This is obviously the original 152. I've had Scouts, early Scouts with a 196, and I actually like the 152 in some ways a little better. It seems to rev a little better, and it's got plenty of perk. I don't have a problem in this Scout. I mean, I've been down the freeway at 65 miles an hour and not had a problem, and I'm certainly not maxed out. They're fine going on the roads and perform amazingly well. So, it is, they're great. They're really fun, and the nice thing is when you if you ever want to go to a car show or something like that, you're usually the only one that's going to show up in a Scout. So they're awesome. So I hope this helps, folks.